for your trip. So without further ado, because I value his time, I want to welcome Bryan. So Bryan is a husband, and I have no idea about sizing, Blair. None. Like literally, sorry, but like literally I am going to be ordering like a medium, and I'm going to see how they fit, and that's how it's going to go. So no idea about sizing. I've never ordered from these people before. So it's kind of take your pick and hope for the best is what I would say. So Bryan is a father. He is a husband, father of two. Him and his wife both work this business full-time, right, Bryan? I think I'm trying to remember if it's full-time now. But he is a 5-star diamond, 9-star diamond combined with his wife. So absolutely, just amazing leadership. And I think you'll be able to tell that his heart is in this for the right reasons, and how he's growing his team and connecting with clients. But he is a former Army paratrooper, and he is going to be speaking to us this evening. He'll tell us a little bit of his story and be speaking to us a little bit on recruiting on purpose. So go ahead, Bryan. Thank you so much for your time this evening, and you can go ahead.
Hello, Stephanie. Hi. It's so great to see you again. And you're in Jamaica, so, we're all jealous. So, hi, guys. My name is Bryan Bachman. I am a coach, so that's cool. I've been coaching for 2.5 years now, and I'll tell you a little bit of my backstory. It might sound like gloating, but the only reason I bring this crap up is because I want you to know that it comes from, I know what I'm talking about, So I kind of like to toot my own horn a little bit, just so maybe you'll go, I should do this stuff. Yeah, doing this 2.5 years now. I'm a 6-figure earner, premier coach last year. So I went from 2-star diamond. It was really like combined 3-star diamond in December to now being combined 9-star here in July. So things have blown up rather fast, which is really cool. Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of good. That's kind of enough, right? Like I would listen to me. So, let me tell you. So Stephanie mentioned I was a paratrooper in the Army. Anybody know what a paratrooper is? No? Raise your hand. Put a thumbs down if you don't. Right? Band of Brothers. You guys see Band of Brothers on HBO, that miniseries that they did? My job in the Army was to jump out of airplanes and shoot bad guys in the face. That was my job. A lot of people join Army and they get a set of skills. They become a mechanic. They become like an aerospace engineer or something cool like that. I didn't have a skill. My skill was here's a rifle, walk that way, or in my case, jump out of the plane over there. And it was really out of my comfort zone in the beginning. You see, I was 18 years old and I graduated high school like 18-year-olds do, and I found myself working at a gas station. And I didn't want to go to college. I didn't even want to go to college. I wasn't a dumb kid. I just was kind of really unmotivated, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, but I had a perfect schedule at a gas station. I worked every single day from 1 p.m. till 10 p.m., 7 days a week, right? So it was perfect to just go to work till 10, get off, party all night, sleep until noon, wake up and go back to work. So my summer after I graduated my senior year was amazing. And then fall came back around, and all of my friends did one of two things. They either went back to high school or they went to college. So I found myself very, very bored and alone. And I wasn't happy. I wanted something. I needed something. I felt like I needed something more than what I was doing. This couldn't be it, And one day a guy in the Army uniform walked in and I said, "Oh yeah, you're in the Army?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm in the Army." I'm like, "What do you do?" And he goes, "I jump out of airplanes and kill people." And I went, "That's so cool." Right? So I signed up for the Army, and that's what I did. But there's kind of another issue, and that was what I learned very quickly is that there's 2 types of killers in this world. There are the people who are born to kill other people, right? Like them when you see them. Like you were born in the wrong century, dude. Like those kind of people. And then there are people who are made to be killers. They're made. That's what basic combat training's all about, right? We saw Gomer Pyle and Full Metal Jacket and all that stuff, right? They turned those guys into soldiers. And that was me, 100%, man, through and through. And not a lot of guys will admit that, but it was a huge shock for me to go from stage actor, kind of a mama's boy guitar player, to a rootin' tootin' parachuting shoot bad guys kind of guy. And I kind of just did that song and dance, but I got very good at it. I became a sergeant. I was about the military, a staff sergeant, like 5 years. So I moved really, really fast through the ranks. And I was really good at it. There was a problem though. And that problem is I had a daughter. I had a daughter. Because I was really good at it, man. When I tell you I was good at it and I loved it, I could jump out of the airplanes, we kicked in the doors, we went and got bad guys, everything was awesome. But then I deployed to Afghanistan. And when I came back from Afghanistan, my little girl, who was a little girl, she didn't remember who I was when I came home. And that bothered me a lot. Because when we deploy in the sometimes they give us these little dolls, right? The little camo dolls, and it has a little picture frame face, right? A little picture frame, and you're supposed to put a picture of the service member in the face, and then it's like a doll of that person, because they're in the Army, made a little picture of me in there, and I gave it before I left, and I said, "This is baby daddy." She's a little baby, and I was like, "This is baby daddy," and she had baby daddy, and when I came home, she thought that baby dad was daddy, and that I was some grotesquely enlarged version of her father, right? So she was a baby, but it still bothered me. The second and more final straw that came when I went to Iraq. I deployed and I went to Iraq, and while I was in Iraq, I received word that my wife, who you all may know, she got very sick when she was pregnant. She was diagnosed with cholestasis. If anybody is a medical professional here, Dr. Burgos, cholestasis. So she was hospitalized and she was dying. It got pretty serious there at the end. But when they sent up the Red Cross message to me, they said that since she was in the hospital and under current medical care, that it did not qualify as a medical emergency and that I was needed in country in Iraq. So I didn't go home, and my son was born when I was halfway around the world. And I got, suck it up, Sergeant. And I really didn't like it. And I learned that it was my responsibility to take care of my family, and that the Army was hindering that ability to take care of my family. Decided I didn't want to be in the Army anymore. And this is, 8 years later. I was in the Army for 8 years. But something cool happened, and it may be fate, maybe destiny, I don't know. But while I was in Iraq, they were shooting rockets at us. This is a violent call. They were shooting rockets at us. I couldn't go outside because they were shooting rockets at us, okay? But we had to get our cardio in. So somebody had these DVD things that they bootlegged on the computer, and we started doing it for cardio when we weren't working out in the gym. I didn't know what it was or who it was. All I knew was there was this jacked black dude on the screen who thought he was in better shape than me, and I was going to show him otherwise in 135-degree rack. So I started looking out to this program, and I had no idea what it was, okay? I came home from Iraq, and my wife and I were talking at this point, and I decided that I didn't want to be in the Army anymore. So we started making plans for the future and what we're going to do with our lives. And I decided that purely ironic, that I wanted to be a doctor. That's what I wanted to do. So I was doing the pre-med thing, and I was really excited. I wanted to be a plastic surgeon, go big. I wanted to be a plastic surgeon. That's what I wanted to do. And we were like, well, you know what? If we're going to do this, we have to come up with a plan. Our health should be at the top of that list because it's important. And, I didn't know what Beachbody was at the time. And I said, no, I had done these programs while I was deployed. We should look at it. And she goes, oh, that's insanity. I was like, oh, I didn't know what that was. And she says, we should get it. I was like, okay, cool, we'll get it. So we get it in 2012. And everybody's done the insanity fit test, right? You've done the fit test, like the worst thing in the world. And did the fit test, and I remember laying there for about 15 minutes, like in just absolute defeat. And at the end it goes, log on to Team Beachbody and you can have yourself a free coach. Carol, within a breeze. yeah, it says you can have a free coach. I was like, oh, no way. I want a free coach, So I went over there and I signed up for a free coach, and I made my profile, and it tells me my coach's name. And tell me right now if you know who this is. His name is Enrique Rodriguez. Anyone? Nope. 3 years. Still don't know who that guy is, right? No picture, no contact info, and just, oh, that was a waste of my time. So my wife goes, I want to make a profile. And she goes over and she makes a profile, and she gets Jessica Bowser Nelson. Anybody heard of her? Right? She's in Insanity Max 30, has big hair. She's in the Millionaires Club, Yeah. And she gets Jessica Bowser Nelson. So Jessica Bowser Nelson reaches out to her, starts telling all this amazing stuff. She goes, you should try this amazing thing. And I'm like, I don't want your stupid protein shake. Get out of here. I was too busy with all my GNC aspartame and acesulfame potassium nonsense, And I said no. I said no to everything, anything she wanted to say. And I said no for a year. For a year. Oh, where would I be? All right, so a whole year. All right, one day Jessica posts a picture of herself on Facebook, jumping in front of her house, going, I just paid off my mortgage in 3 years. What? Good for you, right? And then she says, I have this golden egg opportunity. If you love insanity, you can do it too. I was like, oh, I got a mortgage, right? So Tisha comes to me and she says, check this video out she sent. It was the opportunity video. And I said, I don't want to watch the video. Summarize it for me, right? And she tells me all about it. And I said, I'm not really interested in doing that, hon. She goes, I think I want to do it. And let me tell you what kind of spouse I was. I said to her, do whatever you want, crying to me when you lose all our money. That's what I said. So if you have an unsupportive spouse, everybody has the unsupportive spouse in the beginning, man. Like 9 times out of 10. It's just the way it is. But you can't convince them. You have to show them. And that's what she did. I'm so, so grateful that she did. Because here she is for about 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks, just clickety-clacking away on her computer, not doing anything. Right? Not selling anything, not talking to anybody. Like 2 weeks, but she's talking to people non-stop, all long. Like she just won't put her phone down. She's going crazy, not scrolling, right? Like crazy. And then one day I come home from work, and she and she's clickety-clacking away on her computer, and she starts jumping up and down. She goes, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I was like, what? She goes, I just sold a challenge pack. I said, I don't know what that is. She says, I just made $70. And everything slowed down for a moment. So you have to understand, at that time, the military does not pay us a lot. I was on government assistance at the time, and $70 was and is a lot of money when you have 2 children. Okay? So I said, what are you doing over here? And she says, I just talk to these people, listen to them, and then I just give them a program and a flavor of their shake. I could do that. So then I start doing phase 2 of spousal support on your road to being a Beachbody legend. And that is, you start living through your spouse. And your husband, most of your husbands are probably in this stage right now, because that's where most of them sit. And that's where they're at work and all this stuff. The friend goes, saw your wife posting that stuff on the internet. And the guy goes, and your husband goes, yeah, she's doing that thing. I don't know. I mean, if you're interested, I could probably get you in touch with her. Yeah. And they're coaching through you, but they're not a coach. No, it's not. That's your thing, right? All right. And that's where I started living, right? I got really good at it. And I started signing up a lot of people living through my spouse. And I said, what could I do if I really got into this? So Tisha tells me we're going to this live event, right? And I said, live event? Man, this is an internet thing. And she goes, no, we're going to this live event. I said, come on, dude, I'm not going to no live event. She goes, I already bought your ticket. You're going to the live event. So just buy your spouse the damn ticket first, right? Then tell them. And she takes me to this Super Saturday event. And after that Super Saturday event, just for the sake of time, I started saying, like, this is really interesting, and we seem to have a talent for it. Let's see what we can do with it. And we started going really, really hard into this Beachbody thing, right? But notice that I wouldn't have done anything if she didn't do it first, because I wasn't interested. And I said this at the Soup Saturday that Stephanie and I were speaking at together. And I think I'll say it again right now because it was so good. And that is, stop trying to get your spouses to work this business, man. Stop. This isn't their business. It's your business. Yeah, I get that Summer Tucker and her husband, like, they're so majestic because they work this together. That's great, you know, but that's good for them. That's not you. It's so weird that we have this misconception that we think my spouse doesn't support me means really what you're saying is my spouse doesn't want to work this business. But there's a huge difference there. Because let's say for a second you're a bank teller, right? And you work at a bank all day. And would you expect your spouse to work with you at the bank? No, that'd be ridiculous, right? But that's what most people act like. Now, would you expect to be rated and belittled and judged every time you brought up your day at the bank? No, that's a different issue. That's not support. So you should be able to talk about your business and about your life with your spouse without being ridiculed. Otherwise, there is a dysfunction there. But you should not expect them to come work at the bank with you. You go to work every single day at the bank. And when you get promoted to manager of the whole bank, he will come work at the bank with you. Okay? I promise. All right? So we decided that we were going to do this thing full time, right? And I just, and really, I'm a military guy, and I really want to get into the meat of this, but just to kind of wrap this whole really ridiculous thing up of my story, because in hindsight, what I did was pretty ridiculous, right? And I don't recommend it to anybody, but really, if Beachbody's plan B, it gets plan B attention. And that's what started to happen to this business for me. I was working this business for about 6 months, and I'm making money doing it. I'm making like $100 a week, you know, like this is awesome. Paying off credit card debt with my Beachbody every single week, and things were looking good. The problem is that I was working in the Army full time. I worked on the weekends as a paramedic because I just loved medical training because I wanted to be a doctor, you know. So I was working as a paramedic just for fun, really, on the weekends. I went to school and had almost a full course load, and I was a dad and a husband. I did a lot of stuff, and I had Beachbody on top of it. Okay, and it didn't feel like a lot to me because I had times that I did everything, and I loved it all. Right, I was always busy. So don't tell me you're busy, right? But the problem is that the spring semester rolled around in 2014, in like January or whatever, right? In 2014, and I was like, man, this isn't really gonna happen now. Like, I can't do all of this in the Beachbody thing. My wife wanted to be a dental hygienist, and she was starting dental hygiene school, and they wanted a whole bunch of money put down. So we kind of said to each other, like, I guess this is gonna kind of fall away. Like, it's been fun, you know, sort of thing. And we kind of just sat there and we just started playing with the idea of like, what if we did this? Like, wouldn't it be crazy if like this blew up so fast and so awesome that like we didn't like, and I decided not to be a doctor. Like, how much money would I need to make to decide to not be a doctor, you know? Or she wanted to be like an orthodontist or orthopedic surgeon or something, you know? I don't know, something to do with the teeth. And that's what she wanted to do. So we had big goals, you know? We were like, what if, you know? And then we just looked at each other like, what if I have 18 months till I get out of the Army? Like, could we replace my Army income in 18 months? Making $100 at a time, $100 a week at the time, guys. Okay. So don't wait for success to decide that you're going to do this. I was making $100 a week, and I was deciding that I wanted to be a full-time Beachbody coach. So I decided I was going to get my coach, Jessica Bowser-Nelson, on a Zoom call. Right? I'm so new to coaching, and I didn't understand how it worked. All I knew was that people were making a lot of money doing this, and I had a natural talent for it. Could I do this? So I got her on the call, and I'm a staff sergeant in the 82nd Airborne Division, right? Like, I'm a grunt. My job is to shoot people, right? So I'm super serious, you know, super serious. And I look at her dead in the face, and I'm just like, listen, Jessica, I understand that Beachbody's all rah, and everything's so freaking sunshine and rainbows all the time, but this is my life. And I have a family that I need to support. So I don't want you to fluff me at all. I need to know right now, I have 18 months till I get out of the Army. I have a plan for my life, but, big but, I am considering to revamp that plan for this. But I need to know right now, can I make a full-time income with the business in 18 months. I need to make $1,000 a week is what I needed to make. Can I do it? And I'm so serious. And she looks at me and she starts laughing at me. 8 years in the Army, 2 combat tours, right? She started laughing at me, and I'm just floored. She says these words, and I'll never forget them. You guys have no idea what's about to happen to your life. And that was it. I dropped out of college that day because of the way she said it. Like, she was so certain. Tisha dropped out of hygiene school, and we decided that if Beachbody was going to be plan A, it needed to be plan A. And we went so hard at this because it had to happen. It was the only option now. And because we gave so much effort and so much intensity that not only, burn the boats, we went so hard at this that I hit my goal of $1,000 a week about 4 months later. Yeah. And by the time I got out of the Army, I had more than doubled my Army income. And I would like to take the rest of this time and kind of explain to you how I did that. If you'd like, if you're interested in that. You see, what we do every single day is we do things on purpose, right? You purposefully brush your teeth, you get in bed, you get dressed, you do these things on purpose, you go to work on purpose. But when it comes to our Beachbody businesses, a lot of the time we stumble, we just make some random posts. We send out a bunch of stupid copy and paste spam, and every now and again somebody bites, and we just go, "Oh, that was convenient." Or you get that unicorn message where somebody says, "I'm ready to sign up," and you're like, "Sweet!" Right? I get it. But what if you work this business on purpose the same way that you did the rest of your life? What would happen to the results? Imagine if I just set my shoes down and I tried to jump into them. Like, how many times would I have to jump for them to land perfectly on, right? Compared to me purposefully putting them on. And take that concept and apply it to this business, because what you focus on and water in this business is what's going to grow, because that's the way the world works. So instead of focusing on, or let me tell you what most people focus on. Most people focus on these things right here. I love my baby. Isn't my baby cute? That's number one, right? Number two is, had my shake this morning. It's freaking awesome. Number three, and this is the one I see the most. In my car, today's going to be awesome. And number four, you can fill it in with, at the bank, at the store, everything's so great and wonderful in my life, right? And that seems to be the wheelhouse that everyone tends to stay in. So what do you attract to you when you do that sort of thing? Oh, I forgot about the workout. Workout's done, right? Workout's done. Today's going to be great. That seems to be the trend. But so what are you going to attract to you if you do that? Because let's first recognize that what you put out is what you'll bring back in, right? Go to your Facebook page right now and post something about Hillary Clinton, and watch what happens in that thread. And then go back to your page again and post something about tomorrow's going to be an adventure, and it will be exactly what you want it to be, and see what happens to that thread. It will follow the trend that you set it on. It will go negative if you start it negative, and it will go positive if you start it positive, because like attracts like. And all the people that commented on that Hillary Clinton post won't say anything on that positivity post, because that's just their character. So who do you want to attract to you? And if all you're posting is workout selfies and Shakeology selfies, what are you going to attract to you? People who want to get healthy and drink their shake. Does that make them $1 million business owners? Over time, if you want to do this thing for 10 years, right? Like, I'm talking about doing something amazing in 18 months. And to do that, why don't we change what we're focusing on? Because it is going to be very, very difficult, not impossible, because there's no limit to the number of challenge packs you can sell in one day, to make $100,000 a year on 25% commission sales. I would not want to try to do that, right? What I want to do is I want to bring on as many people as I can and teach them to bring people on and sell challenge packs. And you're going to do a lot more volume and a lot less effort. So that should be your focus. Everybody understand the concept of building a team is going to be what builds your business, right? building a team that produces volume, the compensation plan. I've met so many coaches. I can count the number of coaches probably on two hands that I've met in this business that has read the policy and procedures. And it blows my mind, because that policy and procedures is the rule book. It's the game plan. It's the map. You're playing in the NFL and you don't know the rules of the game. Like, does that make anybody else nervous? Like, you're going to play a game that you don't know the rules to? You're going to lose. You're going to lose. And you're going to place all the coaches on one leg, and you're going to screw yourself over, because they're all going to go diamond, and you're all going to have 6 diamonds on your strong leg and 0 on your weak leg, right? Enjoy your 0 cycles, right? Ouch. Read the policy and procedures, guys. Read it. It is not a fun thing to read, but you will learn uncountable things in there. And go, oh, that's interesting. Like, how many coach business centers can you actually have? How many can you max out at, right? Or what does a dime coach max out at in volume every single week? Because that would suck, because then you're losing money. These are the kinds of things you need to know, because you need to plan for them. Because it may not happen on your first business center or your second business center, but by the time you get to your third business center, you will probably start capping out on team cycle bonus. You are losing money. Beachbody they're just taking it. They're just keeping it. They're hoping for that master flush, like, right? What's a master flush, right? What's a master flush, everyone? You got to know these things. And that's not what I'm talking about, because that's in the policy and procedures. And if you're not willing to read the policy and procedures, then you're not ready to play this game at the level I want to teach you to play it at, which is, we are going to overhaul your entire life in the next 18 months. And that's not going to happen with a power hour. A lot of times we tell people we can build this business in an hour a day. Yeah, absolutely. Because how long is it going to take you to work at your corporate job to retire? 40, 50 years? You give me 10 years of an hour a night as a Beachbody coach? Like, it's not, where you're going to be in 10 years? Like, you're going to be a millionaire, like, that'll be incredible, But if you want to do something incredible very fast, the commitment and the level of sacrifice are going to have to go up if you want to play this game at this level. But I am living proof, people, that I'm telling you that it's worth it, because I would go to work all day long, and I'd come home and I would look at my little 5-year-old and 3-year-old, and I would say, go play over there. I have to work. It's terrible, right? It's terrible. This is what I did. I figured out what I wanted and why I wanted it. And you have to figure out what you're willing to sacrifice. This is all internal. This is all for you. What are you willing to sacrifice to make it happen? And then what I want you to do is you have to sit your family down, and you talk to them, and you say, I don't like coming home and hearing about everyone's day anymore. I feel like I'm a stranger to you guys. You guys don't really know me. I'm never here. I come home for 2 hours and then you go to bed. Like, I don't even know my own children, but I want to change that. And in order to change that, I'm going to have to work this business, and, for the next 18 months, because I don't want to hear about your day anymore. I want to be here, and I'll never go to work again if you can support me in this. But in order to do that, I'm going to need to recruit coaches. I have to recruit coaches, and I want your help to do it. I want you to look at me and ask me how many coaches I've recruited this month, because you don't want me to go to work anymore. And if you can do this, in 18 months, I'll take you to Disney World, but I need your support. I need you not to cry. I need you to go play, but it's going to be worth it. And for 18 months, my 5-year-old looked at my wife and asked her how many coaches she's recruited every month, and then told her she needed to get to work because daddy needed to get out of the army. And in 18 months, not only did I take my kids to Disney World, I moved them to Orlando, Florida, so we can go whenever the hell we wanted. It's worth it. But yes, I did look at my 5-year-old daughter as I sat on my computer from 6 p.m. till midnight, 7 days a week for 18 months. And I told her to go play. And she would come over and she'd talk to me, and I'd go, hey, that's really great, honey. That's cool. Thank you. And I went right back to clickety-clacking. And now right now I literally just walked in the door before I got on this call, because I spent the entire weekend at the Breakers in Palm Beach with my family, and I didn't have to ask anybody for time off. So yeah, it was worth it. I mean, that's not Jamaica, right? So how are we going to do this? Let's talk about this, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to start with our Facebook posts. Starts in Facebook posts. How do we recruit? Do Facebook posts, because your Facebook posts are the window to your business. Because I can give you that stupid cookie cutter copy and paste message that was going around about a year ago of, hey girl, haven't talked to you in forever, but I saw that you look like a really great insert compliment here. I don't know if you know, but I have this 21-day ab squat group and I think you'd be perfect for it because insert compliment here. Is that something you consider doing? Right? Everybody remember that stupid template that went around? You're probably still sending it, aren't you? Right? But the first thing that they're going to do when you send that to them is they're going to go, if they don't instantly just go, oh, another one of those girls, right? But what they're going to do is they're going to click on your profile. Oh, crap, I haven't talked to Elizabeth in 10 years, right? Oh, what's she been up to? And she goes to your profile, and she sees you working out consistently, you're drinking this shake, you're making money doing something, and you're featuring challengers and other coaches who are just getting results. Like, what do you do? Oh, okay, now the door's opened. But what happens if I go to your profile, same message, right? And say your stupid cookie cutter message hit, right? And I go to your profile page and I see, well, she liked this BuzzFeed video. She feels strongly about Hillary Clinton and she has a cat. All right, I don't know. Just ignore her. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's the storefront. It's where they go. Your posts have to be on point. They have to be rhythmic. 3 to 5 times a day, unless you're going to put out like super awesome content, like once a week, like BuzzFeed or something, right? But I don't think any of us are playing at that level yet. 3 to 5 times a day is the only way to get this business going on Facebook that I've learned, and that's the way I did it. So I know it works. Anybody here struggle with posting 3 to 5 times a day? I have a really great tip if you do. Yeah. You pull out your phone and you set up alarms on your phone for 9, 12, 3, 6, and 9 p.m. And what I want you to do is I want you to get used to telling your life, telling your story. And how do you tell your story? You do it on the fly. Bam. You do it on the fly. And I'm telling you, this is so basic. This is how I get people going with it. But it gets so easy as you do it. So what will happen is at 9 a.m., that alarm's going to go off and you're going to be sitting at your desk at work and it's going to go, it's going to say post number 1. And what I want you to do is pull out your phone and take a selfie of yourself and you say exactly what you're doing. You say exactly what you thought on the way to work today. And you say, at work, 9 a.m., ready to crush today. I'm so freaking stoked because this morning I got a transformation photo from one of my challengers who got amazing results and she's well on her way to kicking butt. And that just revs me up to kick ass at my nursing job or whatever you do. And I don't know, today just seems freaking awesome. Anybody else feel the same way? I literally just made that up just now. Okay. So like you can make it up too, is what I'm saying. And that's it. So, okay. So Bryan, what happens if 12 o'clock rolls around and I'm still doing the same thing? That's your life. That's your life. Don't try to be the most exciting person in the world. Be you. So you take another picture of yourself and you said, it's noon, still here, still at work, still going strong, but I saw the CEO post something amazing, right? Or I ate healthy today when everyone around me was eating crap and I stayed strong and you can stay strong too. Just let's keep doing it. Let's rock the rest of today. You see what I'm saying? Like you're just telling your life. And what I like to think of Facebook as is the window to my soul. If you go to my Facebook page right now, you will get a very quick sense of who I am as a person and what I'm about. And what I'm about is not, I have a Beachbody challenge group and you can join it. Because I'm a person. I want to be a person and I want to be me. And for a long time, I sat in this weird place of trying to be what I thought a Beachbody coach was. Right? Like that cookie cutter. I don't know what to say. It's because you're not being yourself. Because you always talk. You're always talking. You talk about the things you want to talk about. And you know what I like? I like Game of Thrones. I like to play with guns. I like my kids. I like my dog. I like my wife. I like to go swimming. These are the things I like. Are they super? I like the 10X rule, which is a really great book, right? And these are the things I like. Is it the most exciting thing in the world? Maybe not to you. But to me, it's my life. So of course it's important to me. I'm not trying to talk to you if it's not important to you. I'm trying to talk to me. That's how you're going to talk to people. Talk to you. Because I'm telling you right now that everyone goes through it, so you won't listen to me. And that is, you do not have to sign up everybody to your team. You don't have to do it. You can sign up the people that you want to sign up. And if you start getting red flags from somebody who's like thinks they're doing you a favor by signing up for your team, you can tell them to go sign up with somebody else. And I strongly encourage you to do it. Okay? Really strongly encourage you to do it, because I've gotten bad apples in my team before, and they are, to this day, a huge headache. So learn from my my endeavors, and you can talk to people that you want to talk to. Let's say you love Jesus. If you super love Jesus, talk to people who love Jesus. That's the people you should be talking to. If you don't like Jesus, don't talk to people who don't like Jesus, because the worst thing you can do is split your market. It doesn't matter if you're for gay weddings or against gay weddings, because the moment you go live and you draw a line in the sand, you just cut everybody in half, which is why Chick-fil-A sales plummeted, Oreos sales plummeted, and freaking Doritos sales plummeted, and all these huge major institutions. This is about 5 years ago when people were still teeter-tottering in the gay marriage, which is why I used this as the example. And all of these people took their stance on gay marriage, and all their sales dropped because half the people just stopped going to their business, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. My recommendation to you is to stop watching the news for a year, and watch what happened. Brendan Burchard taught me that. And as he said, don't watch the news for a year and watch what happens to your life. Like, you will feel so much better. And if it is that big of a deal, the only reason I know about the Hillary Clinton thing is because people told me about it, is the only way. And I'm saying that if it's that big of a deal, you'll hear about it. You don't have to go searching for it. You'll hear about it. All right. So definitely get off of the news, because nobody cares what your opinion is on gay marriage or on Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. Nobody cares. Okay. How can you help someone? That's what I want to know. Because the moment you can, and I really, this is so good, and I can't take credit for it, but for being original with this, but the number one way to vet whether or not that you have what it takes to be successful in life, and that is not be a miserable human being, is how much are you complaining? How much are you complaining? Because the more you complain, I know the more you don't do. You don't do. You definitely don't take responsibility, right? The kind of person that the victim all the time. How many victims do you see in everyday life? Tons, right? Oh, my back. Oh, my knee, right? Like, oh, I was going to, but so-and-so, right? Victims are everywhere. How many victims do you see on national television telling their story? 0. Because they don't want that kind of attention. Nobody wants that kind of attention at a grand scale, right? Say your mother-in-law tells you you're the worst thing that ever happened to her family, right? Would you go on national television and tell everyone that? No, but you'll go tell all your girlfriends in the coffee shop about it. So the next time you decide to start complaining, ask yourself if you would go on national TV and talk about this. And I bet you'll stop complaining. Yeah. Super important. Yeah. Super important that you stop complaining about things, because the moment that you take responsibility for everything is the moment you have the power to fix everything. But Bryan, I can't control if a drunk driver hits me. Yeah, you can. You could be in the other lane. That's so ridiculous, right? I can't control if the power goes out. You can buy a generator. It's kind of, it's ridiculous and outlandish, but it's the mindset. It's the concept of there's always a way for you to fix something. And that's what you have to do. So you're going to take this newfound mindset that you have now, right? Because it's so amazing. And you're going to go to your Facebook page and you're going to start sharing your story. And notice I say I don't keep saying post me what you're doing. Share your story. Because telling me what you're doing is just the first step. And really what I've learned is a good Facebook post is comprised of 4 parts, right? And that part number 1 is your beautiful face. Your beautiful face. That's what it is. It has to be your face, because Beachbody is not your brand. And if you're posting PIO or the 21-day fix as your pictures, I'm going to go to Amazon and buy it. Why do I need you? Right? So stop. You are the brand. If you don't say the words when you're telling people like what they get for signing up with you, you don't say the words, and you get me as your personal coach, you are seriously undervaluing your worth in this company, because that they are so lucky to have you as their coach, because you are on the trenches with them. Nobody wants, like, and I got to tell you, to be honest, like, I'm in great shape now, right? I'm in great shape, you know, and it's actually made my business harder. Swear to God, it made my business harder. Because I wasn't the guy that lost a lot of weight. I was the guy who gained a lot of weight. You know, I was very, very thin. But when I was thin and I was pushing play every single day, everyone was laughing at me until they saw I didn't stop pushing play. And they were like, dude, you're doing awesome. Like, I see you showing up every day, sport. Good job. Stay with it. Right? And people were motivated by that. But now that I'm in unbelievable shape and I'm super jacked and I post that on Facebook, I get a lot of, well, that's good for you. It's easy for you. I swear to God. Like, dude, I was skin and bones my whole life. My whole life. And now I have people tell me I could never have arms like that. Dude. So it's actually made my job much harder. People don't want to see the guy sitting on the pedestal telling everyone how to get fit. It doesn't work. What they want is they need somebody to go through their journey with them. That's what we do as coaches. We go with people. So what I started doing is I started working in very small groups of people where I shared struggle. Very rarely do I post in my challenge groups like, boom, made it happen. You know, like, that doesn't work. That doesn't motivate you, you know, because you're just like, good for you, you know. But if I go in there and I say, holy crap, dude, like, third set of, you know, of tricep dips or whatever I was doing, I literally thought I was going to poop myself. You know, like you say ridiculous stuff like that, and it makes you more relatable because they're dying in their workouts too. That's how I connect with people in the challenge group level. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell stories, okay? So that's part number one, is your beautiful face, okay? Part number two is you're going to take natural pauses. Take your natural pauses in your post and your emojis and start putting them in. So if I'm talking, I don't just talk nonstop and random like this, because that would be so incredibly hard to keep track of, right? I take pauses when I talk. Shut up. Shut up. Phone's ringing. Sorry. So what I do is when I take my natural pauses is I'm going to hit enter. Hit enter, right? And you start breaking up that post, because the last thing anybody wants to read is a huge chunk of text. You know, nobody wants to read that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a catch line. A catch line is what I have, because as I'm scrolling, watch how fast you scroll on your phone. You scroll fast, man. Your eyes are moving so hard. That's why you get headaches when you stare at your phone too long, right? Because your eyes are so, right? So you're scrolling fast. And really, you only have two chances to stop my scroll. One is your beautiful face. Look what lighting does, guys. Use good lighting. Use good lighting in your pictures, because it makes things better. You know, you got to use good lighting. Work the angles. If I post a picture like this, and then tomorrow I post a picture like this, and then the next day like this, and then every single day, and I have girls that post the same angle every single day. White noise, baby, right by it. Starts to be nothing. You got to change. You got to change where you take your photos, when you take your photos, what lighting you're using for your photos. It has to be different, because you have to stop my scroll. The second chance you have is with your catch line, right? And it don't be over the top with it, but it's got to be something like, it's me just dying. I'm like this, you know, like after my workout or whatever. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my catch line of, I can't stand it when things get that hard. Enter. When what gets so hard, Brian? I don't know. You have to click see more to find out. Right? Okay. Then what you're going to do for step number 3 is you're going to tell me what happened. Tell me what happened. So let's give you the example, right? And the example in this situation is the photos of me, and I'm kind of distraught, right? And I'm kind of just like this, like just tough break, man. And my catch line is going to be, it breaks my heart when this shit happens. Oh, by the way, I say bad words in real life, so I say bad words on Facebook, because I'm a real person and I don't pretend to be something I'm not. So if you say bad words, don't be afraid to say bad words. And yeah, you might scare some people away, but remember what I said? You don't want those people on your team. You want you on your team. So I say, like, it really breaks my heart when this shit happens. Next, now I'm going to tell you what happened. And again, every time I take a natural pause when I talk, I'm going to enter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say my post out loud. Whatever it is you want to say. I say it out loud before I ever touch the keyboard. And I've gotten so good at it now I don't have to do it, right? And you will too. But at first, I sat there and I would talk. And then I would type literally what I said, word for word. So if you say y'all, if you say if you say the F word, whatever it is, word for word. And that makes you, you. And you can have a personality on Facebook because you can type the way you talk. And you can use caps, emojis, and funny pictures, or whatever it is, and you can get your personality to shine through. So what I'm going to tell you is I'm going to tell you what happened. This is where everybody does. And I'm going to say, so there I was standing in Target, and I kind of went there by myself. And I was standing in line to check out. And in front of me was a mom, and she had a little girl with her. And the little girl just looks up at her mom and she says, "Mommy, where's Daddy?" And it was like Tuesday at 2 p.m. And Mommy looks down. She goes, "Daddy's at work, honey." And the little girl says, "He's always at work." "Why is he always at work?" Mommy looks down at the little girl and says, "Because that's just what daddies do, honey." The little girl looks back up at the mom and she says, "I wish he'd never had to go to work." And the mommy just kind of laughed. She kind of just chuckled. And she says, "That's just the way it is." And the little girl just kind of looked down sad. The end. Like, how was that for a Facebook post? That's number 3. Tell you what happened. And that's where everyone stops. That's where everyone stops. I can go to all your pages right now, and it's where everyone stops. Unless you're a pro. And if you're a pro with Facebook marketing, you hit step number 4, and you may not even realize it. And it's why everybody follows Caleb Thomas. It's why everybody follows Bonnie Engel and Anita Myron and Casey Lawrence and Lindsay Matway and all of them. It's why you follow them, because they're unbelievably good at step number 4. And that is, they're going to tell you a story. Let me give you an example. Same situation. Same situation. She looks down and she goes, "That's just what daddies do, honey." She says, "I wish daddy never had to go to work." I am so unbelievably grateful that my little girl will never have to look up at my wife and say those words or feel that way, because I had the audacity and the intestinal fortitude to bust my butt and sacrifice time for 18 solid months. And now I get to spend every single day with my daughter. So I don't know who this little girl's daddy is or what he does, but somebody needs to give him my phone number, because enter hashtag, I got an opportunity for that ass. The story is the power. The story is what makes you feel something. Before, you're just like, "Oh, okay." You're reporting at the bank, at the mall. Baby threw up on me again. You're reporting. You're telling me what your day is. It's great. I don't care. Most people don't care. That's why you get 4 likes on your posts. Okay? Or they go, "Cute baby." So you get 22. But Bryan, you're a full-time coach and you make 6 figures. Of course, that's powerful for you. Well played. Let's change the story then. That's just what daddies do, honey. I wish you never had to go to work. I am so unbelievably grateful that I have this freaking opportunity sitting in front of me. And 18 months from now, my little girl will never have to say those words again, because I'm sacrificing the time now, and I'm going to bust my butt and build this business as fast as I can, because no little girl deserves to have her daddy away from her for 14 hours a freaking day. And I don't know who this little girl's dad is or what he does, but somebody needs to give him my phone number, because enter hashtag, I got an opportunity for that ass. It's the story. It doesn't matter what the story is, but the story's true to me. See, that was about me. Right? It was very powerful to me, because I wasn't around. My kids didn't know who I was. What's your story? You have a story. You come from something. Your story may be super amazing. You may used to jump out of airplanes and shoot bad guys. Good for you, right? What if you sat in an office all day and you were an accountant? You have a story? Yeah. You were bored. You were bored, you were undervalued, you were underappreciated, you were underpaid, and you were overworked. That's your story. Are you going to appeal to me? No. Because I have no idea what it's like to sit behind a desk for 80 hours a week doing accounting. You know who does? Other accountants. Other people who sit behind desks. Don't try to recruit me. We have nothing in common. Recruit you. And you do that by telling your story. Because if I brought my wife in here right now, who's playing Overwatch right now, by the way, I don't know. If I brought her in here right now and I sat her down and had her tell your story, because there's so many women on this call, you would all cry because she's so good at telling her story now, you know? But there's some piece that you would connect to. Why is it that BuzzFeed makes videos? Why is it that all these videos get 10 million views? They're stories. You can be a professional storyteller, but it's going to be hard. You're going to be really, really bad at it first, but you can use these 4 steps, almost, so to speak, to kind of guide you through it. And now that you've done that, oh, by the way, stop posting stock photos. We talked about that. Okay. I had that written down. Okay. Beachbody puts in hundreds of millions of dollars every single year into advertising, right? And their advertising is not meant to drive people to you. It's meant to drive people to beachbody.com. And they're very, very good at it. So don't use their pictures or people will go to beachbody.com. And you are not going to beat them at advertising. So don't put your own text over there. I see people put like their own flash sale on a Pio image. Like they're going to Google Pio and they're going to find another coach, or they're going to go to Amazon or whatever. So don't use stock photos and use your own face, because your face is beautiful. You do not have to be a bombshell to be good at this either. Because I'm a guy. So, so don't think that you have to be Lindsay Matway to be successful here, which I haven't ran into in a while, but I get that from time to time, where people think that they're too ugly or they're too fat to be, I can't put my own face out there because I'm not beautiful, right? Again, you're not trying to appeal to all the guys hitting on you, right? You're trying to appeal to you. And when you appeal to you, suddenly everything you do is right if you're being truthful to who you are. You can't go wrong, because you can have a bad day and you can say, does anybody ever just go to Facebook and talk about how much they hate their kids because it's okay because you don't say it to their face? Is that just me? Right? You see what I'm saying? Like, you can go on there and say that, because if that's true to you, then you will appeal to you. You. Stop trying to talk to everybody. Because when you talk to everybody, and I seriously have a coach that goes on their Facebook page every single morning and says, I hope everyone has a blessed day. God bless. That's their post every single morning, right? They get nothing on it. They get nothing on it. Why? Because they're talking to everyone. Facebook doesn't care. Nobody in Facebook cares when you talk to everyone. It doesn't work, right? How many posts do you comment on where somebody says, hello, Facebook friends? Nobody said, nobody, It's always somebody saying, like, God, I was in traffic and somebody, did this, and you're like, no way, that happened to me too. Oh my God, they're talking to you. Like, you see how that works? It's so cool. All right, so now your store is open for business. We didn't even talk, this is calls about recruiting. We talk about Facebook posts the whole time. I think that might be important because the messaging thing is really, really easy. It's really easy. And I'm going to help uncomplicate it for you. And let me premise by telling you that I can teach you tips and tricks, but there is absolutely no tip or trick that you will learn that is legit. People might try to market it to you. Like, let me show you my 5-step plan to get hot leads. There is no shortcut to messaging your freaking face off. Okay, that is how we all built our businesses, and it is how you will build your 6-figure business. And that will be from spending hours upon hours upon hours of talking to people who have every excuse in the world, who think that they can do it on their own. So why are you even talking to me? Right? And getting told no, and having your family tell you that you're doing something ridiculous. I was in the Army for almost a decade, everyone. I wanted to be a plastic surgeon. And I had to go to my dad and tell him that I'm going to be a professional pyramid schemer, and I have a wife and 2 kids, and I have 18 months to make it happen. How do you think that conversation went? It didn't go well. look who had the last laugh, Dad. Right? He still doesn't think it's legit. It's still a full-time coach, you know? What do you do all day? Yeah. So what we're going to do is, now that our store is open and it is just so beautiful and your life is there and you are helping everyone in the entire world simply by doing your own journey. Your own journey is first and foremost. Your body is your business. It is okay to be a fat girl and be a Beachbody coach. It is not okay to be a fat girl who isn't trying and wants to be a Beachbody coach. You will fail. You will fail. You have to push play every single day. It is not, you don't have to look like Lindsay Matway. You don't have to look like Tisha and lose all this amazing weight. Tisha lost like 45 pounds, you know, like it doesn't have to happen. People don't care about that. Who here watches Rocky just to see him jump in the ring at the end? Nobody. Nobody cares. What do people watch Rocky for? Because they want to see the struggle. They want to see the journey. That's what everyone cares about. Even if they don't say it. Well, do you have results? Like, it doesn't matter. First off, they would have to be stupid to look at you in the face and say, like, that stuff doesn't work at this point. You know, like, our company is, 20 years old and like we have so many testimonials. Like, come on, everybody knows what we have works. The question is it worth it? Is the value there for them and their goals? That's up to you as a coach to help them see them. But you have to try. If you're skipping workouts, your challengers will skip workouts. Your coaches will skip workouts. If you are skipping days that you are doing the 4 vital behaviors, your coaches will skip the days that they do the 4 vital behaviors. But aren't you here to build a business? How are you going to build a business if your coaches don't show up? You won't. You won't at all, right? You have to be the success that you want to see. So if I really, really want you to make 10 points a month, because that's going to drive some serious volume into my bank account, what do I need to do? I need to make 10 points minimum. I set the pace on my team. And if I get beat, which I get beat almost every month by just a little bit, makes me mad. It makes me mad, right? And it's always different girls, so it's not like I don't have like one girl who outperforms me every single month. It's like this girl beat me and then this girl beat me and then this guy shows up and I'm like, who are you? Right? So that's the way I roll in my team. It's the way I've rolled since the beginning. So if you think that you're going to sign up 2 coaches this month and in 18 months you're going to have yourself a 6-figure business, you haven't been listening, because I'm telling you plain as day. And the math may be wrong here, but it's here. That's what I want you to get. And that is, I recruited 10 coaches a month minimum for 18 months. 18 months. 10 coaches a month, man. No, I wasn't good at this. I talked to a lot of people. That's how I signed up 10 coaches a month. And I learned how many people did I have to talk to sign up one person. And not only can I tell you, but I can show you. Because I have here my beautiful bubble sheet. The very first bubble sheet that I ever used. And everybody's going to say, oh my God, can I have that bubble sheet? It's incredible. And I'm going to say, no, it's mine. This is my bubble sheet. It's the first bubble sheet I ever used. What it is you take your opportunity video, mine is 18 minutes long, and you share it with somebody, right? You say, hey, do you want to learn what I do as a coach? And they go, yeah. And I go, great. And the moment I share it, I put their name in a bubble. If they say, no, don't ever talk to me about that stuff again, then I just leave their name alone. But if they say, oh my God, this is amazing, I want to do this, I star their name. I put a star over their name, right? There's like a star on it. And then when they sign up, I highlight the bubble. So that's what you're looking at. You have 100 bubbles. You have 90 days to fill up 100 bubbles, okay? What I learned is that I had to share 10 videos to get one person to sign up, not send out 10 messages, people. I had to talk to enough people to where I got somebody to say, yeah, dude, look, what do? Like, you have a video? Can I see it? I had to do that 10 times, which means you had to talk to 5 times more people than that, just to get 10 sets of eyes on the opportunity video for one of them to sign up. Why? Because I was really bad at this. I was really bad at this. Because what I did, essentially, let me get into character for you. I looked at people and I said, hey, man, you're pretty fat. And they were like, yeah, bro, I got pretty fat. I go, you want to not be fat anymore? And he goes, yeah, I don't want to be fat anymore. Cool, you should do this shit then right here. And he went, oh, no, I'm just going to go to the gym. Or, oh, yeah, I'll do that shit. That's how I did it, man. That's how I did it. And I talked to people, and I was me. And I talked to people, and it worked, man, because it brought a new level of realism to the Beachbody coaching face that wasn't around then. And it was really when me and like Trey Bear kind of were starting out, and a couple of these other, ragtag guy coaches, where we brought this dude mentality that we're in the business, because before that it was a businessman that was in the business. And we came in here like, dude, you want to get jacked, and I started telling people like, what do you want? Like, what do you want out of life? What are your goals? And they'd be like, well, I really want to lose 30 pounds. Why? Why do you want to lose 30 pounds? I just don't like the person I see in the mirror. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, we can help you lose 30 pounds. We should, because that sucks that you feel that way. And then we'd go through all the crap, and I'd find on the 21-day fix and all the Shakeology. And at the end, they'd say, that's just not that. I just can't afford that, or that's too much money. I would say, well, you told me you didn't want to be fat and hate the person you saw in the mirror all the time, but I guess you don't mind that anymore. So, and you're like, oh, that's really mean, Bryan. But the good thing is, no, and I disagree. It's real. It's real. Because how many people here could do this right now? They go, oh my God, if this girl pushes the date back one more time, I'm going to lose my freaking mind. LOL, no problem, girl. We'll talk later. That's all of you, right? That's everybody. Right? That's everybody. I know. And they will continue to walk on you, and they will continue to push back, and they will never sign up. And when they do sign up, they'll sign up and they'll never push play on their program or drink their shake, or they'll return it and you'll go -2 points the next month. Or they'll do it for 2 weeks and then you'll never hear from them again. Or they'll be a coach and they might get to day 3 of the training because you held their hand too much. So what I do is I slap them in the face, but I do it not to be a jerk. I do it because I know that if I can get you over yourself, that I'm going to change your freaking life. Why do I want to change your life? Not because, I care about your goals, because I care about my goals. And in order for me to achieve my goals, I have to help you achieve your goals. And that goes back to being what we talked about with being true to you. Because go around the room and I'm going to ask everybody their why. And I'm going to hear, I want to retire my spouse. I want to buy a house. I want to come home to my kids. I'm here to help people. And that's what I'm going to hear. Okay. And what I'm going to tell you is that you're wrong, because that's not true. It's not true. You're not going to like this. You're not going to like this, but this is the way I do it. Okay. Because you'll prove it to me that it's not true. Because 3 months from now, you'll check your team page 1 time a week, maybe. And when your coach messages you, it'll take you 48 hours to respond. And you'll say, yeah, I'm trying. But you're not. So I guess coming home to your kids wasn't that important to you. It sucks, right? But it's true. Right? We've seen it. Whether that's you or you have coaches who I just described, right? Who said they wanted to come home to their kids, but where the hell are you, right? That wasn't true. They don't care about their kids as much as they care about something else. We have to figure out what that is. Figure out what that is. Because if you can figure out what that is, that's what's going to make them show up every single day. For a long time, I said, I'm here to help other people. And I said this on stage with Stephanie also. I said, I'm here to help other people. But that wasn't true. I really wanted my coaches to succeed, is what I said. I want to help 5 of my coaches retire. But when the push came to shove and my leaders stopped leading, I slowed down because it wasn't true to who I was. What was true to who I was is that I have goals, and my goals have to do with something entirely different. from the cookie cutter spectrum of what it is. What I want you to do is find out why you're really here. And when you find out what you're really here, and you find out why you really want it, and you get to that question number 3 I talked about earlier of what are you willing to sacrifice to get there, the answer has to be everything. I'm willing to sacrifice everything to make this happen because there's no other option. For me, I have to make my kids' college accounts something that they can go on because I have a full-time business here and I have passes to Universal and Disney World and I have 2 Mercedes-Benzes, but I have $4,000 in my daughter's college account. Does that seem jacked up to anybody else or is that just me? And you should have seen my face when I looked at myself in the mirror the day I realized it. And I said, if this all goes away tomorrow, or if I die tomorrow, that's my legacy that I leave behind. And that wasn't okay with me. So I found a new reason to show up. But in order for me to get to that, I need to find out what you want and help you get it. So it still comes back to helping people. But why you're helping people has to be specific to you. And as you start to do it, you'll get good at it. You'll learn the skills. Because how we do things, and this is kind of wraps up, as I'm going to talk about messaging one more time. Because as you do this, recognize that how we do this and all these hows that I can teach you, and you do calls on how to run a challenge group and how to make a banner and how to do this isn't the answer. Because if you're an alcoholic and I give you a 12-point CD, are you cured? Here you go. You're cured. This will teach you how. No, that's ridiculous, right? Because how isn't the answer. Why is the answer. And we'll use Lacey down here, right? Lacey, I have a 2x4, and I take this 2x4 and I set it down in front of you, and I say, hey, Lacey, walk across this 2x4. I'll give you $20. Easiest $20 you ever made in your life, right? Right? But if I take that 2x4 and I put it across 2 skyscrapers, and I say, hey, Lacey, walk across that 2x4. I'll give you $20. You gonna walk across that 2x4 now? No, of course not, right? Ridiculous. But let's say I take your kids and I put your kids on the other side and then I set that building on fire. Are you going to cross that 2x4? I didn't even offer you $20. What changed? Why? Why am I doing this? That's what changed. That's the power of why. Don't worry about how. Because if I take you in your car and I throw you in New York City and I break your car and give you an instruction manual to fix it and a bottle of water, are you going to fix that car? No. You'll call Uber, you'll flag someone down, or you'll walk. But if I take you into the middle of the Arizona desert in 110-degree heat and I break your car and give you an instruction manual and a bottle of water, are you going to learn how to fix that car? Yep, you sure are. Because if not, you're dead, right? Same situation. Different circumstances. That's what matters. So when you're messaging people, don't focus on how. Focus on the conversation that you're having with them. We have form. Everyone heard of form, right? I hate form. I hate it so much. I told Beachbody to their face to get rid of it because what they're doing is they've created a system on how to have a conversation with someone, right? Right? Like talk. Oh, so you have like, I don't know what to say to people. So you're married? I saw you're married. You took your kids to the zoo. That was interesting. What do you do for work? Oh, that must be fun. You work at an office supply store. Okay. You got chairs there. So what do you do for fun? Okay. And do you want to join my 21-day ab and squat group? It's just ridiculous, right? That's ridiculous. But that's what's happening. That's what's happening. You have a conversation with someone. So don't worry about the scripts. I have scripts. I've made scripts. They're not the answer. They don't work. What you do is you focus on one thing when you message people. You're going to go to your Facebook friends list. As soon as we're done here, you're going to click on friends. You're going to go to A, just type in A, and you're going to start messaging people. And all you're going to say is something relevant to them. Holy shit, dude, I haven't talked to you in like 10 years. How you been, man? Hey, girl, I didn't see you since Girl Scouts 3 weeks ago. We took our daughters there together, or like, what's up? Or, hey, girl, I saw you went to the zoo the other day. How you been? How was it? How was that? You see what I'm saying? Like, you just, whatever's message to them. They'll respond to you. And then you have one goal. And that goal is not to sign them up as a coach. It's not to sell them a challenge pack, to get them in your free group, or any of that nonsense. Your goal is to become best friends with that person. That's it. legitimately become best friends with that person. I'm going to let you know that it'll work because some of my best friends in the world are now Beachbody coaches, right? Because you legitimately become best friends. And here's why. Because if I become friends with you, what is that going to do? You're going to start to open up to me because we're friends. And everyone knows if someone's being fake, so don't be fake or they're going to see right through it. You need to message these people and legitimately just try to be their friend. And when you do that, they'll open up. And when they open up to you, they're going to start to tell you about their hopes, their dreams, their regrets in their life. They're going to tell you how their 13-year-old won't stop saying the words, I hate you, because you're never around and you don't have money to give me to go out, hang out with my friends. And that's the fourth time that little jerk said, I hate you to me this week because I can't give her 20 bucks. And they're going to start telling you these things. And in order for this to work, two things have to happen. Number one, you have to believe in yourself. And that comes from personal development books. If you don't read personal development here, I won't see you here a year from now. It won't happen. You won't be here. Okay? It is the lifeblood. It is the fuel that keeps us going. That's it. They all say the same thing. I hear a lot. Yeah. You know what else is the same thing? The gas you put in your car every single week is the same thing, isn't it? You know? That's it. Do it. Read it. Find different books. Reread the same book. Right here. If you're a diamond coach or above, this is the book you need to read right there. The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. If you're not a diamond coach and you're just like, what do I do? How do I do it? Go Pro by Eric Worre and then The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. That combination right there took my business to a new level. And then I read The Charge by Bryan Bachman and it changed me as a person. That would be my trio right there. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to start to believe in yourself. Again, tell people you get me as your coach. The second thing is you're going to believe in your opportunity. If you don't honestly believe that Shakeology and T25 is going to change someone's life, you haven't been watching. Yeah, welcome to the show. Okay, like there's no question at this point that what we have works. But if you don't honestly believe that this coaching opportunity will change your life, you're not in the national wake-up calls. I'll call that, right? You barely show up to the team calls and you don't participate in the team page. So fix those things, because I'm only talking to the people that want to succeed. And in order to be successful in something you've never done, you have to do things you've never done. So do things you've never done. Otherwise, you're going to keep getting the same crap results that you hate your life now. So let's try something new. So start plugging in and believe in your opportunity. I honestly know. I don't hope. I don't pray. I don't wish. I know that if you do this thing, and you do it right, it's going to change your life. I know it. I know it as much as I breathe in air every single day. And because I know that, not hoping, I don't hope you get this, I know it, that when you start telling me, when we're talking, you open up about your pain and your regrets and your hopes and dreams, and you tell me how your little girl hates you because you can't give her 20 bucks and you sucks and you want to make more money, or that your kids hate you because you're gone 80 hours a week and you just wish you could be home. And I know what I have will change your life. And we're friends because we already established that you need to be friends with them. I would have to be the worst friend in the entire world to not give you this opportunity, wouldn't I? Raise your hand right now if you regret being a Beachbody coach. If signing up was the worst thing that ever happened to you, then why are we so scared to ask other people to do the same thing? This business has impacted your life. Look at where you are right now. You're robbing your friends, your actual friends, of being happy just like this. But I make money off of them. So don't focus on the money. Focus on the time. Focus on their impact with money. That's it. Focus on the things that motivate you. And you're going to impact other people's lives. It's going to be incredible. But I don't beg anybody ever to watch my opportunity video, and you shouldn't either. Because if you attack it, if you start spamming messages the way I told you earlier that everyone used to, right? Then yeah, you're going to be begging a lot of people. But if I have a conversation with you, and this conversation is a farming experience, not a hunting experience, and sometimes it takes 18 months for somebody to sign up as a coach. I had this girl who just signed up. I've been talking to her for 3 years. 3 years, everyone. 3 years. She's a coach now. She told me no for 3 freaking years. Okay? This is a farming experience. You plant the seed by saying, hey man, what you been up to? Oh, I'm in college now. I'm out of the Army. What about you? Oh, I'm living in Orlando. I work as a health and fitness coach online with the P90X people and stuff like that. Where do you go to college? That's it. I'm done with Beachbody. I'm not going to bring it up again. He knows now. That's the seed planted. So now when he sees my 3 to 5 posts every single day, he goes, oh yeah, he was doing that thing. That's it. You're done. Because next you're going to cultivate that relationship, which is by just being a friend, like I said, and then you're going to harvest. But people try to skip that cultivation period and rush it, which is why people ignore you, because you're spamming them and you're bothering them and you're salesy and they're seeing right through your hidden agenda. Okay? But if I know what I have will change your life, I would have to be a jerk. I would have to be the worst friend in the entire world to sit there and watch you wallow in your self-pity, and we're friends and I have the way to help you and I'm not helping you. So stop focusing on signing up coaches and that's how you're going to change your life, because everyone's going to see right through that. Instead, focus on, I'm going to be best friends with this person. I'm going to be best friends with this person. And again, you're talking to you. So if you start talking to somebody and they're going on and on about Jesus, and Jesus is the worst thing in the entire world to you, don't talk to them. Or they love Pokemon and you love Digimon, get them out of your life. You don't need that negativity in your life. And that's what you need to do. I hope that helps, because I didn't want to spend a lot of time on messaging, because it's not important. It's not the hardest thing. It's the easiest thing. If you just aim to be friends with people, that's it. Aim to be friends with people and believe in what you do, because they'll open up to you, and then I can help them achieve their dreams and their goals. Because the realest thing I can tell you right now about Beachbody coaching is there's not a single person out there in your newsfeed that gives a shit about your diamond rank. Right? They care about their goals and their dreams. Help them achieve their dreams, guys. And that's how you'll achieve yours. And bow. All right. That's enough. I'm done. I have more stuff, but I'm just gonna be done.
We'll have to invite you for a part 2, Bryan. Part 2 call. That was awesome. That was like really, really awesome. Thank you. I mean, thank you so much for taking so much of your time. I mean, people are saying thank you. I know people are just really just your points, especially, what I love the part, where you're just saying for them to be themselves, for all of us to be ourselves. And I think sometimes when people get caught up in looking at other people's posts and asking for scripts, and, I think I agree with you. People forget to have a conversation. They forget to be themselves. They feel like their life is not enough, when really your life is enough. And I love what you said, that you're not marketing to everyone. You don't want everyone on your team. And I think I've learned that, over the years, just like I'm sure you have, and you've seen, and it's true. We're not marketing to everyone. You're marketing to you, to who you are, like Bryan was sharing with you guys. And everyone's like, he didn't sweet talk to us, which is what I need. Yeah. And Bryan, I'll say, like, I am also very honest with people, even on like when I'm talking with clients, and potential, I'm very honest, really blunt. And but so many
do it to be a jerk. You do it out of love and out of knowing that sometimes a kick in the butt is what people need to get off of their own excuses. And I know that if I can rattle you enough, I'm going to change your life.
I've actually enjoyed it. I've actually enjoyed it in the process, and I tell people, and I preface it even with coaches and with people that I'm talking to. I say, look, I'm telling you this with all the love in the world. I'm doing this because you're coming to me for help. And I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. And I usually say that right before I'm about to then be real with them. And it's actually so many people have told me how much they appreciate just my honesty, which is actually really sad, right? When you think about it, when you think about how they appreciate how blunt and how honest I am. So many people have told me no one's ever been that honest with me. And that's really sad when when we actually sit back and think about, who are they talking to really then? Because it's very clear kind of their excuses and things like that. So thank you for also kind of validating that in your talk. that was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. So anyone have any other final thoughts? If not, I love that you said this is a farming business. I think a lot of people forget that, and I think it's important that we all remember that a brand new coach, a coach that's kind of, in the middle, a coach that's still, that we're always growing, we're always farming, the seeds get planted and you're always cultivating. I've had coaches, like you said, you took a year yourself, you have a girl who took 3 years. I have girls all the time who come up to me and they're just like, I've been following you for a year, 2 years. And, I'm sure you tell this to your team all the time. It's like the only difference between us and new coaches is time. It's time and our consistency. Obviously consistency is a big one, but it's really time of showing up every single day.
I really like, I like coming on and doing these things, man, because it's rare for other teams to have experienced a talk like mine, because we do like to, great job, girl, and that, but I hope that, and again, I don't do this because I like to say the F word, I do it because it's me and I'm comfortable being me, with the goal of helping you be you, so that way I can achieve my goals, right? Because it all comes back to me and my goals, but I have to get you to your goals in order for me to get to my goals. So we kind of, right? So maybe if there's somebody out there who isn't being themselves, say you see your coach doing nothing but workout selfies that are being made on PicMonkey or Canva, and nothing but smiley face and heart emojis. But that's just what you've been doing, but that's just posting's a chore for you. I suggest that you mix it up a little bit and post something that you think is funny, but maybe you think might rattle some people, and watch what happens. The very first time I did that, and I was trying to be something I wasn't. So everything was sunshine and rainbows on my page all the time, and nothing ever rattled me. And I had a whole bunch of people who liked and commented and all that stuff. And then one day I flipped a big middle finger to my Facebook page, and told some truth that for that particular instance. And everyone who liked and commented was dead silent. But the post had just as much activity from people who never commented or liked ever on my posts, and it had resonated with them. And now my market is nothing but those people, because those people are more like me than the people I was pretending to be. Because there's a very bad thing that can happen when you pretend to be sunshine and rainbows coach and you're not. And I'm not saying sunshine and rainbows coach is a bad thing. It was for me, because I'm not sunshine and rainbows coach. Okay. But I was pretending to be. So I was attracting and I was bringing on these sunshine and rainbow coaches. And then when they got to know me, they were like, "You're different than I thought you were." And I went, "Yeah." And because of that, I didn't have a working coach for 9 months. Nobody wanted to work with me until I started acting like myself and bringing on people who were just like me. But just like, you don't think that, stay-at-home moms are the only one that wants to build a home business. Everybody wants what we have here. It's just about shaping that and putting it in a box that fits their life and what they want. Okay. I won't hold you up anymore.
Awesome. That was awesome. All right, Bryan. Well, thank you so much for this call. Thank you. This was really, really awesome. I will be posting the recording, and Bryan, I look forward to going on your call next week and speaking to your team. So, all right. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Everyone have a good night.